You're about to learn, oh my gosh, probably one of the easiest, most delicious bread recipes I've ever had the pleasure of making.
Same.
So, are you ready? We're about to dive in. Alright, welcome to another edition of Easy Upgrades. My special guest this week is Kirsten Olsen of Rural Route 1.
Nailed it.
Awesome.
Yeah. Thanks
cool.
for having me, Malcolm.
Yeah,
It's good to
totally.
be here.
And love that you brought this recipe. This is incredible. It's grain-free, it's gluten-free,
Yeah.
keto-friendly,
Yeah.
hits all the check marks.
Totally.
And it's unbelievably so easy to make.
So easy. All you need to know how to do is operate a blender and an oven. So pretty simple requirements there. There's no fermentation. There's no mothering a sourdough starter or anything like that. So quick and easy.
Yeah.
The foundation for the ultimate millennial meal, the avocado toast.
Right?
I like to poke fun at the millennials because I just found out that I am one.
You are
so,
one. Yeah. I'm on the cusp, you know.
Yeah,
Could be
for
one,
sure.
but yeah. I think I have my own category.
Yeah.
So, anyways, we're gonna get you the recipe in a moment. We'll tell you how to access that. We're gonna walk you through the steps, how to do it, and then we're gonna have a little taste. But just look at that. That's incredible. This is a loaf I made just ahead of time, so we had it here
Yeah.
to show you, as well as walking through the process of how to make it. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 really basic ingredients.
Yeah.
We're also going to talk about different additions, things you can add, change the flavor,
Nutritions.
upgrade the nutrition.
Totally.
Yeah, make it a choose your own adventure. So that's the idea. This is easy upgrades. Things, keep doing what you're doing, right? Like, don't have to turn your life upside down.
Yeah.
You can approach health and improving your health through food, through nutrition, with these small little easy upgrades. Things we can add into every day. This bread absolutely fits the bill. So tell us a little bit about it.
Yeah, so I came across, I'd love to take credit for the recipe, but I cannot. I came across
There's no such thing as an original recipe. They're all far out.
Yeah. But this one was originally by Danielle Walker, who does the Against All Grain blog and book.
Yeah.
So as you can surmise from that title, she's got lots of recipes that are grain-free, gluten-free, obviously appeal to keto and paleo diets. And this one really appealed to me because, I've had a gluten-free hole in my heart for a really long time now. I've been on the gluten-free bandwagon for about 3 years, and one of the things that's really been missing in my life is bread, and it's like the gluten-free bread just doesn't cut it for me.
So
and
true.
I really miss sandwiches. So finding this bread has just changed my life.
Game
really,
changer.
totally,
Right.
yeah. So it's great as a sandwich bread for your avocado toast, for sandwiches. It's really nice because it's a perfect combination of sweet and savory.
Yeah.
So you can use it kind of as a dipping bread for your soup or your chili or whatever, but also as a dessert bread. So just slathering some almond butter and honey or chia seed jam on there is just divine.
Yeah.
So lots of little ways that you can enjoy it for sure.
Okay, cool. Well, let's dive right in. So it's the kind of the very base. So again, this is all you need is a blender. You need an oven. We've got it set to 325, 350, somewhere in that range.
Yeah.
And let's go ahead and start blending our way to heaven.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so, I guess the first thing to mention is that, adding, I like to say everybody in the blender, but there's a little bit of tact involved in who goes in first. So I like to put the wet ingredients in first, obviously, because that's just going to help to incorporate things, mix them up really well. I like to share the story of how the first time I made homemade mayonnaise, I'm one of those people that really likes to cut to the chase and get it done as quickly as possible. Any shortcuts I'll take. Yeah. So, Googled the recipe, found it, and it's okay, got my ingredients and need a blender, cool. Didn't totally read the instructions, and I just put it all in the blender. Everybody in the blender. Yeah. Got her going, and then, poured it out to find that it was just this runny, gross texture. And, that's not mayonnaise.
Yeah.
So I went back and actually read the recipe, which was okay, you need to take 10 minutes out of your life to, pour one drop of olive oil at a time, blending. I'm okay, so that's what's going to emulsify it. But
makes a difference.
Yeah, so there's sometimes times where you have to kind of pay attention, and
Yeah.
I find that this is a great start. You add your wet ingredients first, your dry ingredients second, so that you're actually going to get everything kind of mixing in nicely and blending properly.
Okay.
So we're going to start with adding the eggs, and I don't know if you mix anything up here beforehand or...
No, I just kind of, we pre-prepped everything so
Okay.
it'd be nice and quick. You guys aren't watching us like crack
Okay,
eggs and
perfect,
do
yeah.
that kind of thing. So
Okay, good, because I always get the shells in there too, so
right,
I'm glad
so,
you did this beforehand.
8 eggs.
Yeah, 8
you know,
eggs in here,
organic, free range, all that good stuff.
naturally.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, we got half a cup.
Half a cup of milk.
Half a cup of milk.
So that could be almond, dairy, you know, whatever your choice is, right?
Yeah, anything will do.
Any-
Apple cider vinegar in next. And
that's
yeah,
all
that's
the liquid.
it.
Okay.
That's all the liquid.
Okay.
So next I'll just add basically the cashews.
All right, so 3 cups of those. And I was asking Kirsten before we were doing this, because this recipe's new to me. I tried it, works amazing. And I was like, well, what about soaking the cashews? Could you do that ahead of time?
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think soaking the cashews would be a great idea. I actually haven't done this myself, but as we know, that's a great option for making the nut more digestible, breaks down phytic acid, enzyme inhibitors, all that stuff. So it's going to increase the nutrient density of the nut. And yeah, make it easier to digest.
Yeah, so if you're going to add the cashews soaked, which we think is a great idea, we just haven't done it yet.
Yeah.
My only guess is you'd have to balance out that wet-dry ratio.
Right.
So obviously more liquid is going in, so either you add a little less milk, or my best suggestion would be to add a little bit more flour at the end. So here we have our next ingredient.
Coconut flour. Oh, and we're going to put baking soda also in,
Right.
a little bit of that.
Oh yeah,
Don't forget
and
that.
here's one of those steps, right? We want to blend this first before we put in the coconut
True
flour.
Story. So 1
Teaspoon.
teaspoon of baking
Sorry,
powder.
actually, it's 2 teaspoons of baking soda.
2 teaspoons.
Yeah. Don't worry, we're going to have this recipe all written out for you.
Yeah. We promise we know what we're talking about.
Yeah. The proof is here.
Yeah.
The bread's here.
Totally.
Yeah.
So I'm actually going to blend this up first, because adding the coconut flour right away can kind of get it a little bit too thick.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is going to give it a nice creamy texture, and just make the coconut flour a lot easier to kind of mix in there.
All right, so give everything a really good blend. 10-15 seconds, nicely pureed. And now in goes the coconut flour. So if you've pre-soaked the cashews, you're going to have, I would pour off any of the soak water that you've soaked the cashews in.
Yeah.
And then put in the wet cashews, and maybe you're going to add 1 or 2 tablespoons extra of coconut flour.
Yeah.
Super absorbent, this coconut flour. It's very dry, very absorbent.
Yeah. So you'll see when we mix it up, it's going to get a lot more thick and kind of have a doughy consistency the way we like for our bread.
Just hang on a sec, because I noticed you forgot the...
Oh, I forgot
some salt. Yeah, teaspoon of salt. Boom.
Yeah.
There it goes.
Which is great to bring out all the flavors of all the ingredients in the recipe, so can't forget the salt.
Okay.
All right, round 2.
So at this stage, here's where you want to kind of get in there, mix it around, because again, the thickness of that coconut flour, it's going to give the blender a little bit of a challenge.
For sure.
So kind of mix things off the sides, get right, I can see down here.
Okay.
All right, there we go. We're getting that all well mixed in. Then we'll give it another blend.
Yeah, I've made it too before where I've not mixed the coconut flour in well enough, and then the final product has like a big lump of like coconut flour, and it's just really dry and not so appealing.
Not the way to go. Not the way to go.
For sure. Round 3.
Okay, you'll be able to tell based upon the sound of it, the look of it, and then as you mix it around, make sure that all got blended quite well.
Yeah.
If it's looking a little too thick, you can add a little extra liquid, but you are looking for a nice, good, I don't know, dough.
Yeah, kind of like a blob, a bit of a blob.
Yeah, like wet, like cake batter.
Totally, yeah.
Kind of.
Yeah, so I think we're pretty good here. I think we're doing all right.
Okay.
What do you think?
Yeah, no, it's good.
Yeah.
So we're now gonna just put this into a pan. So get out your bread loaf, whatever you got. A little bit of parchment paper, just to prevent some stickage.
Yeah.
Press that down, and essentially, Kirsten, we'll just get you to pour that in. Okay, now while she's pouring that in, I want to share a couple of ideas for versions, for variations. I made this particular bread cinnamon and raisin. Now, if you want to go ahead and start adding different flavors, cinnamon and raisin, fig anise, ginger apricot, whatever inspires you, different fruit nut combinations. This can absolutely work. My recommendation is if it's a dried fruit, maybe just soak it a little bit ahead of time. So here I've got some raisins, I've got some dates, just so they're not going to take up the moisture that's already in the bread. You've got your nice good balance of that wet dry. So adding the dried fruit with their own liquid is a good idea. As much spice as you like with cinnamon. When I made this, it was a good 2 tablespoons of cinnamon. Could have gone more, depending on how much you like that flavor. And the main key idea is that you don't want to add in big chunks of anything. So if this were a fruit nut, you know, big chunks of walnut, big chunks of date or raisin, that's going to interfere with the ability of the bread to really, you know, hold together and be whole. Because as if you're cutting it, you have this giant chunk of walnut, it's going to make your bread crumble more so. So when I put in those raisins, I put them in right at the very end with a quick little blend, integrated them in. So they're still chunks of raisin, but not big whole chunks that are going to interfere with the consistency. So when I slice this, I've still got it perfect. Another option, if you want to do savory herbs and spices, sun-dried tomatoes. Again, you could soak them, blend those. You could also do, we have these incredible olives, the black patia olives.
Those are so good.
Yeah, like rosemary olive bread. So again, you could just totally make this full-on savory. For
sure. And you could also substitute other nuts. So cashew is quite a sweet nut. But I've made this before with pecans, and it becomes a little less sweet, but it works just as well cup for cup. Yeah, and kind of like some of the modifications that you were suggesting there, adding some fruit and stuff like that. I've made like a persimmon pecan bread, and it's turned out really amazing. Add some like chai spice and stuff like that. So yeah, lots of ways that you can kind of like modify and update the recipe.
So even though now we've got this into the baking pan, we're about to pop it into the oven. It's fairly low, but it will rise, right? Like this rose, nice, and it's soft, it's spongy, it's airy.
It's kind of like a banana loaf a little bit.
Kind of like a banana loaf, it's true. Yeah. Okay, you want to throw that in the oven?
Yeah.
So this is going to bake for anywhere from 45 minutes to 1 hour. And what we're looking for, we're going to do that toothpick test of sticking the toothpick into the bread. You'll see it lift, you'll see it rise, you'll see it darken, begin to bake. You do the toothpick test. If it comes out dry, then you're all good, you got it. And here we are. Let's get a nice little close-up here of the bread slicing, just so you see the wonder of the bread and how amazing and wonderful it is. So here we are, a nice perfect loaf, and we're going for the slice. Boom!
Yeah.
Right? Holds together, it's beautiful. Now that can be our sandwich, that can be our, you know, thing to spread. Our avocado, our cheese, whatever it is, whatever you're into, perfectly wonderful like that. So there it is.
Love this bread so much. And it's actually a great source of protein and fat as well, because we're using those nuts, we're using so many eggs. So in contrast to regular bread, which is really carby, this is something that's, you know, great to kind of keep you going throughout the day, keep you satiated, and that's a win-win-win in my book.
For sure.
Can't get enough.
Cool, awesome. Well, thanks for tuning in. This has been awesome. Try out the bread. Give us your comments. Let us know how it turns out. If you do any fun variations, let us know too. Check out Kirsten at Rural Route 1. All right, until next time.
Yeah.
We're going to enjoy some bread now.
Yeah, snack time.
Snack time.
Bye.